Our football team all weekend. He'll be around our football team at the hotel, and then I got a call and Deion Grant wants to come back and be a part of our football team again and be in the hotel with us. And to me, that means everything. You know, when you have former players coming back, that's what we're all about.
Middle there.
As you said, the past couple of years with South Carolina, the games have been pretty close. Are you anticipating another close game with them this year?
We always anticipate close games. That's what college football is all about. So every game we go into, that's kind of been the flavor of the season, the nature of our season, and we knew that, you know, going into this year that, you know, 2 to 3 plays can define a game, 4 to 6 plays can define a season, and you never know what plays are going to be the difference between winning and losing, and those plays don't necessarily have to occur in the fourth quarter. It could be the first play of the game. So, you know, we're anticipating a hard-fought game that's going to go right down to the end, just like most SEC games.
Steve in the front and Danny Parker in the back.
Just going back to those last 2 games with South Carolina, what have those games meant to your program? Obviously, one of our top 10, top 15 team 2 years ago, and then last year, that overtime comeback. What have they meant just for the momentum of the program?
They've been great building blocks. Our players have learned a lot through those. You know, in the process, I still go back to the first game and when Michael Pilardi kicked the winning field goal. These are all things as a coach you continue to rehearse and talk to your football team about. But, you know, with the 10-second runoff, we had no timeouts left, and we ran the clock down to 3 seconds and then spiked the football. If our offensive line or anybody would have flinched or jumped, the game would have been over with. And those are all things that, you know, a lot of people, you know, like I started thinking about the question on Monday, and I'm switching gears on you, well, why haven't you thrown the ball, you know, with the backup quarterback in? And we have 5 healthy wide receivers. And so we don't have backup wide receivers. So all of a sudden we throw the football and we have a young man get hurt, and you guys are asking me why you're throwing the ball at the end of the game and getting somebody hurt. So, you know, everything is how you look at things. The glass is half full, the glass is half empty in everything that you look at. And, you know, I think the South Carolina games, you know, they've meant a lot to us in terms of resiliency, resolve, finding a way to win the game. So I go back to the first game, you know, we found a way to win. I think also managing the game, I believe there was 2 minutes and some odd seconds left, maybe 3 minutes. We had the ball 4th and 4, 4th and 6 at about the minus 47-yard line, and we didn't go for it. We kicked the punt, and we were able to generate getting off the field, and then we had a short field, and that's you know, Marquez North made a big catch on 3rd down. So I think the game management lessons, you look at last year's game, that team was very determined and very focused to win the football game, and we found a way to win the football game. So, you know, each year is different, but you continue to build off those experiences.
Danny in the back, then Dustin, Troy, and Heather.
Coach was looking for an update on Cortez Sapp. Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? Is he healthy enough to contribute on teams later this year? Is he in line for a medical red shirt? Or?
Well, first of all, we have to get Cortez back healthy, and he's not back yet. So right now, you know, he would be a medical red shirt. Now, if he can help us win games down the stretch, but he's doing everything he can to get back, but he's a linebacker. You know, when we were, you know, avoided safety in terms of depth, you know, we moved him there, but he's a linebacker in our program. But right now, we're still trying to get his foot back healthy.
Dustin and Troy, Heather and Seth.
First, wanted to ask a couple quick updates on Stephen Griffin and Jason Troom. Also, you mentioned Pharaoh Cooper before. What are they just doing well with him, I guess, in terms of moving him around? What are kind of the things you got to keep your eye on in terms of how they get into football?
Well, they do. They're able to distribute the football to him in every way, shape, or form, whether it's wildcat and playing quarterback, or, you know, where they do a great job is formationally. He's able to line up in the slot. He's able to line up on the outside. On the perimeter, he's you know, able to be number 2 in trips. sometimes put them at running back. So they do a great job, I think, with the overall flexibility of their system. They have a high inventory of plays that they're able to get him the football. He can throw the football, as we found out. So again, he could do so much. They do a great job with the screen game of involving him too. So we have to know where he's at, but the thing that they have is they have very good players around him too. The other receivers are very good, really good tight end that can run. He's one of the best players we've faced on kickoff, on their kickoff team. So they do a really good job of having other players around him. In terms of Jason Kroom, he's not ready yet, progressing, but not ready yet to even practice yet. Stephen Griffin was back at practice, kind of re-aggravated his ankle, so as of right now, he's probably doubtful for the game.
Troy, Heather, Seth, Mike Strange, and then one or two more.
You talked about last year's South Carolina game, just specifically how much confidence did that game give Josh Dobbs, and he was a pretty instrumental part in that comeback?
He was an instrumental part in the comeback and showed great poise, great decisiveness, great leadership down the stretch. They always say the mark of a great quarterback is the ability to lead his team from behind in the 1 minute drill on the road. And we had some players step up around him too, and that was a great maturation game for him, so to speak, and he's continued to build off that.
Heather.
I know you said he was steady, but have you seen maybe a renewed sense of confidence in Aaron Medley this week after hitting the 44-yarder versus Kentucky?
I saw a more determined and more focused Aaron Medley last week in practice and in his overall preparation and even on game day. To his credit, he was very relaxed. He's done a great job of really going back to the basics and just, working on being smooth, with his stride and all that. So I see a lot of confidence in him. Our players always have confidence in him. We do as well, but I see more focus and I see more calmness in him.
Seth and Mike Strange, and one or two more.
Going back to Mosley's targeting suspension, there's not an appeals process in place at this time. Is that something that you and maybe some other coaches would like to see the NCAA change in the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I would like to see that process change. And, you're talking about a young man who, basically did everything that we asked but rap. And, the SEC has done a very good job in the way they've handled it. There is no formal appeal. The appeal is basically when it goes to replay. But I do think that when you're involving a suspension, that you should be able to have an avenue to be able, or a forum, to really go back and look at it, because you're talking about the welfare of a student athlete, you're talking about his family, you're talking about him, you're talking about everything that they put into it. And I know he feels terrible about it, but also it's a great teaching point, it's a great learning lesson. But as we continue to look at how can we better the game, and I'm all for player safety, that's first and foremost, but to answer your question, yes, I do think that there should be a formal process. Maybe it's all the leagues getting together and reviewing those. And like I said, the SEC has done a very good job of everything to this point, but to better the game, and when you're talking about being in it for the players, I do think that's something that would be very healthy for our game and moving forward.
Mike Strange.
Coach, since Coach Spurrier left, South Carolina, I think, has won a game and went into a tough place against a good team and gave them all they wanted down at Texas A&M. Is this, in any sense, a more dangerous team or more energized team that makes it a little harder for you?
Well, first of all, it's a talented football team. You can't hide from that. You just have to look at, the players. It's a very, very talented football team. It is a dangerous football team. They're flying around, they're having fun. They're putting it all out there. They're playing with very good effort. They're coming in here expecting to win. And this is going to be a great challenge for us. So when you look at the dynamics, when you look at the talent on this football team, yes, this is a great challenge for our football team. in a lot of regards.
Last one with Heather.
Butch, with the first poll coming out from the College Football Playoff Committee last night, were you surprised at all to see 2 SEC teams in that first 4?
No, and really didn't pay much attention to it. I don't think the polls at this point in time mean anything. I don't even know why we put them out there. I think it's the final one is December 6th. That's the one that counts. That's the one that matters. So really don't put much attention into that. Even if we were involved in that conversation, my response would be the same thing is, it really doesn't matter until the final poll. That's really the poll that means everything.
Thank you. We'll have Darren Kirkland Jr. and Brian Randolph in a few minutes.
You guys have a good day.
2.